factoring a polynomial that has 4 terms like this, you're going to break it into 2 groups. You're going to factor by grouping. You're going to group the first group of 2 terms, x cubed plus x squared. I'm just going to factor out the greatest common factor and then see I'll have 2 parts. I'll have the greatest common factor and what's left over. So I could factor out an x squared, and then I'd be left with, well, x cubed divided by x squared is x, and x squared divided by x squared is 1. So when I undistribute an x squared, I just get x plus 1. Okay? Now for my second group, there's 2 parts that I have to end up with. I have to end up with something that I factor out and what's left over. What's left over has to be the same as it is in the first group. So I have to end up with an x plus 1 there if I'm going to be able to factor this. Okay? So what could I factor out to be left with an x plus 1? Well, I could undistribute a -4 from the second group, and I would have x plus 1 left behind. Okay? Here, I think, oh, hang on. I can zoom in a little bit.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't see anything you just did.
Okay. So there, maybe that's a little bit better. Can you see that better?
Not really. That's better like that, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got these 2 groups of 2, and I'm going to factor out an x squared in the first group, leaving me with x plus 1. And then in my second group, I'm going to put a plus sign in the middle. I'm going to have the first group plus the second group, right? The second group is -4x minus 4. I have to leave 2 spaces in the second group. I'm going to have the greatest common factor, whatever I factor out, in other words, and then what's left behind. Well, what's left behind in the second group has to be the same as what's left behind in the first group. So I have to have a factor of x plus 1 in both groups. Now the question is, can I do that? Can I undistribute something from the second group and get x plus 1? Yeah, I could pull out a -4. So my first group is x squared times the quantity x plus 1. The second group is -4 times the quantity x plus 1. And I'm just adding those 2 groups together. Okay. Then all I do, once I've got the same leftover factor, well, that's a common factor. So I could undistribute that from group 1 and group 2. And I'm left with x plus 1 times, when I undistribute the x plus 1, my first group only has an x squared left. Second group only has a -4. And remember, this whole thing is equal to 0. Okay? And so now look what I did. Now I've got this thing factored into x plus 1 times x squared minus 4, right? And x squared minus 4, well, that's a difference of squares, right? So I could factor that into x plus 2 and x minus 2. So I end up with x plus 1 times x plus 2 times x minus 2 equals 0. And then I can just set all those equal to 0, so I'd get -1, -2, or positive 2 would be my answers.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I can put another video up of me teaching that too, so you have something else to look at it, if that'd be helpful, Ellen.
Okay, yeah, because every time like you get the same like question wrong, it'll just take you back to the same video, which doesn't really help me because it just makes you watch the video over and over again, even though it's not helping you.
Right. Yeah, no, that's I'll put some other things up. Yeah, that might be helpful. some different videos. So you don't get bored with that same one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tyler, you had a question. I'm going to stop recording this one.
Okay.